The story begins in a dense jungle. A man was desperately trying to find a way out. The jungle was so thick that there seemed to be no escape. He was moving forward by following the sun, but now the sun had already set. Despite this, he didn't stop running. Eventually, he reached a point where he found something written on a skeleton. Point of no return, meaning no one could go back from there. The trouble was clearly visible on his face as he looked at the sign. The darkness deepened, and suddenly all the birds flew away. With no place to hide, the man, terrified, climbed a tree. Unfortunately, he fell from the high tree. Before losing consciousness, it seemed like someone was pulling him, though it wasn't shown who it was. But we heard his painful screams. The scene ends, and 6 days later, we are introduced to a girl named Mina in the city. Mina had no friends or family except for a sister. At this time, her boss ordered her to take a parrot to the zoo. Mina took the parrot home because she had to go to the zoo the next day. She spent the night with the parrot, and in the morning, she set off for the zoo. While driving on a long road, she suddenly took a wrong turn and ended up in the middle of the jungle, the same jungle where the man had disappeared earlier. First, she drove her car inside the jungle, but when she couldn't find a way out, she had to leave the car. She thought maybe someone could help her, so she took her parrot and started moving forward. The darkness was growing deeper. Suddenly, like before, all the birds flew away from the trees. Mina was now scared because the ground was shaking. She felt someone was close. A strange old woman was running away from her. Mina followed her, asking for help, but the woman didn't stop running. When Mina got tired of following her, she stopped. The old woman then called her and said, "If you want to live, run fast and come to us." As soon as she heard this, Mina ran to the old woman, who took her to a house and locked it. This was not a typical house, but a very strange cloth structure with a huge mirror. There were 2 other people with the old woman. Mina, scared, asked them, "What is this place?" The people didn't respond and told her to stand in front of the mirror because someone was coming to see them. Mina asked, "Who is coming to see?" The old woman replied, "We are coming to see the Watchers." Suddenly, strange noises were heard. The old woman said, "The Watchers are happy to see you. They are clapping for you." Mina was very confused. The Watchers that Madeline talked about were neither shown in the movie nor seen by Mina or anyone else. Anyway, the night passed. In the morning, these people came out of the place. Madeline said, "These Watchers come out only at night. During the day, we can roam freely in the jungle." Mina did not want to stay in the jungle and tried to leave. But Madeline said, "This is not a good decision. There is no way out of this jungle. We have to come back to this house before night. If you are late, you will lose your life," Madeline warned. Mina didn't listen and kept moving forward with her parrot. As she advanced, she saw the same sign, "Point of no return." She was scared, but, like the man before, continued moving in the direction of the sun. However, she could not find her way out of the jungle. Suddenly, she felt a tremor beneath the ground. Frightened, she ran back to the house, admitting defeat. Madeline encouraged her, saying, "You are not the only one who tried to escape and failed. We have all failed. There is no way out. This jungle draws souls in and shows strange things to people. It can drive you mad. If you want to stay alive, stay with us. This jungle is a hunter, and we are its prey." Madeline showed her many signboards with "Point of no return" placed in a circular pattern in the jungle. "These signs are half a day's journey from our house. If you go beyond this point, it will be difficult to return. So never ignore them," Madeline advised. Mina asked who made all this, and Madeline answered, "A professor." At night, they returned to the house. The Watchers came to see them every night. That evening, a girl named Kira danced for them and expressed her enjoyment. It wasn't mandatory for the 4 of them to stand before the Watchers every night. They could do whatever they wanted, but they could not bow to the Watchers. Although the nights were troublesome due to the Watchers, the days also posed challenges. They hunted daily in the jungle to survive. The next day, Kira and Mina went to gather food. Mina asked Kira, "What do these Watchers want?" Kira replied, "I don't know, but Madeline has a theory. The Watchers observe us. If we see them, we will go mad." Kira then showed Mina a cave, explaining, "There are many such caves in the jungle. During the day, The Watchers stay in these caves and come out at night. Mina learned that Kira had been stuck in the jungle for 6 months. Kira's husband had gone to find a way out, and she hoped he would return with a solution. It turned out that Kira's husband was the man taken at the beginning of the story. Upon returning home, Madeline explained 3 rules to Mina to stay alive. First, never open the door at night. Second, never turn your back to the mirror at night. Third, stay away from the walls during the day and stay in the light as much as possible. Curious about the Watchers, Mina tried to listen to the voices through the mirror. When she couldn't hear anything, she turned her back to the mirror, angering the Watchers. They started hitting the mirror, causing a crack. Madeline, awakened by the noise, told Mina to face the mirror to calm the Watchers. The night passed, and the next day Mina went hunting with Daniel. Mina didn't want to waste her time there and was preparing to leave. She asked Daniel if he had ever seen a Watcher. Daniel didn't answer. Mina then expressed her suspicion that Madeline might be making up stories to trap them. She suggested they check the cracks, hoping to find a way out. Determined, Mina tied a rope around herself and descended into the crack, with Daniel holding the other end to pull her out if necessary. At the bottom, Mina found various belongings of people who had been trapped in the jungle. She and Daniel brought the items out, but before Mina exited, she saw someone's fingers in the crack. Though she couldn't see what it was, it scared her. They returned to their safe house with the items. When Madeline asked where they found the stuff, they lied, saying it was from the jungle. Madeline, knowing the truth, asked Mina what she saw in the crack, but Mina didn't reveal anything. Among the items, they found a camera, which they set up outside the house to monitor the Watchers. Madeline kept explaining to them that they were making a mistake, but neither of them listened. That night, they waited for the Watchers, hoping to see them. The Watchers hadn't come yet, but something strange happened. Their door was knocked. When they checked the camera, they saw a human leg. Whoever it was, he was speaking in the voice of Kira's husband. Kira thought her husband had found a way out of the jungle. She quickly got up to open the door, but Madeline stopped her, saying, "You can't open this door. I know that isn't your husband." Kira didn't believe her, so Madeline suggested, "Test him. Ask him something only you and your husband would know." Kira asked the person outside about a specific book that only her husband would know. When the person outside didn't answer correctly, she realized it was a Watcher. Without opening the door, the Watcher broke the camera outside. Now all the Watchers were angry. They began to break the mirror outside their house. But when everyone stood in front of the mirror, the Watchers stopped breaking it and didn't come to kill them. Many bad things happened that night. The next day, Daniel and Mina decided to tell Madeline the truth about going to the well. Madeline was furious that they had broken a rule. She took all the items from the well and threw them back in. Mina, who initially didn't want to stay, now had no choice. Time passed, the weather changed, and winter came, but they were still trapped. Mina searched for a way out every day but found none. She had made a map and was determined to complete it someday. The cold made it difficult to find food, and her mental condition deteriorated. One day, Madeline and Daniel had a fight. In anger, he left Madeline and Mina outside and locked Kira in the safe house. As it was getting dark, Madeline and Mina knocked on the door many times, begging Daniel to let them in, but he didn't. When night fell, they had to stand under a thick tree to save their lives. They could hear the Watchers' voices and even caught a glimpse of them. The Watchers were long, thin, and dangerous. The Watchers left the safe house to search for Madeline and Mina in the jungle. As soon as the Watchers went away, Madeline and Mina rushed back to the safe house, forcefully knocking on the door. Finally, Daniel opened it. Everyone was scared, having seen the Watchers' reaction. Madeline then revealed the truth. "I lied about being stuck here. I actually came in search of these creatures because I read in books that they are fairies. But when I saw them, I realized they are monsters, and very intelligent ones. They can change their faces. The one I saw looked just like me, but with messy hair and holes under the eyes. From their behavior, I guess they learn something new every day to become like us. That's why they observe us daily and mimic our actions." As they were talking, there was another knock on the door. The creatures outside were now talking like idiots, wanting to come inside but unable to open the door. Even if they didn't open it, the creatures had enough power to break the iron door. Everyone needed to hide. No one knew what to do until Daniel noticed the floor. The floor was slightly uneven, looking like a carpet. There was a bunker below. Without wasting time, they opened the door of the bunker and went inside, closing it behind them. They were surprised to discover that the bunker had been there all along, and they were unaware of it. The bunker was equipped with numerous facilities, food for thousands of days, many TVs, technology, and other necessities. Mina wanted to know who had made this place, so she turned on the computer. Although there was no internet, a lot of data was saved on it. When they accessed it, they discovered that Dr. Martin had created the bunker. This professor knew about the creatures. He wanted to research them, which is why he made the bunker and lived there. He would bribe others to bring people to the jungle and then hide in the bunker at night, leaving those people upstairs for the monsters to eat. Through his research, Dr. Martin revealed that these creatures were not monsters but fairies. They used to live with humans until humans betrayed them, trapping them in the jungle. Over the years, their magic and powers diminished. Dr. Martin found a unique fairy during his research, one who could come out of the pits even in daylight. She was benevolent and didn't harm Dr. Martin. He brought her to the bunker, and she learned everything from him. However, they eventually had a falling out. The computer contained numerous videos, each with Dr. Martin sharing something new. Mina wanted to know how it ended, so she played the last video. In it, Dr. Martin planned to kill himself and the fairy. Before dying, he revealed a way for people trapped in the jungle to escape by following the direction the birds fly in the evening. He also requested that anyone who succeeded in escaping should go to the university and destroy all his research, as some secrets should remain undisclosed. The group was elated to find a way out. When they emerged from the bunker, they saw that their safe house had been completely destroyed by the Watchers. They needed to leave the jungle before evening, so Mina freed her parrot. They followed the direction in which the bird flew. On their journey, they came across a grave. Madeline explained that there was a time when humans lived with fairies, but humans betrayed and left them in the jungle. Without their wings and magic, the fairies could never leave. Eventually, they reached a river, the final obstacle before they could leave the jungle. As evening approached, the Watchers started emerging from the ground. Before boarding Dr. Martin's boat, Daniel found his injured companion, John. He went to help him, but the others saw that the person wasn't really John. It was a shape-shifting fairy. This fairy transformed into Daniel before their eyes and killed the real Daniel. The fairies couldn't cross the river, so the group managed to escape and reach the city. The scene then shifted to Mina at Dr. Martin's university, where she was about to destroy his research. Before doing so, she discovered that humans and fairies once lived together and even intermarried, producing hybrids. She realized that Madeline, whom they met in the jungle, was actually a fairy disguised as the professor's wife. Mina was confused why Madeline hadn't revealed this. She shared her confusion with Kira, explaining that the Madeline they met was a fairy. Kira was shocked. Years ago, the real Madeline had died of lung cancer. The professor, deeply in love, wanted to stay with her. When he discovered the fairies, he made one look like Madeline. As Mina explained all this, she realized she wasn't talking to Kira, but to the fairy disguised as Kira. The real Kira arrived, and the fairy knocked her unconscious, attacking Mina to keep her secret. Before killing Mina, the fairy admitted she was different from the other fairies in the jungle. Mina then revealed that the fairy was special, a hybrid, which is why she could live with both humans and fairies. This revelation restored the fairy's legs and magic, and she fled. A few weeks later, Mina, traumatized by the jungle and fairy incidents, went to stay with her sister. She expressed her fear that the fairy was still following her. Her sister reassured her, saying nothing would happen. In the final scene, a girl was shown under Mina's house. It was none other than Fairy Madeline, living in her world as this girl. The story ends here.